Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Agent's Edge. My name is Ryan Polimeni. Today I want to talk about how to cross-sell annuities with your insurance sales. I was coaching a large group that's in the final expense and mortgage protection recently, and we were having these kind of conversations, and part of the problem was that they weren't finding any annuities. And really what it came down to was they just weren't asking the right questions. But the reality is most people that I was coaching in that big group, they didn't understand annuities. They didn't understand how they work. They were nervous to ask because if they did uncover something, they wouldn't know what to do. So the first thing when it comes to annuities or cross-selling annuities is to understand them. I built my academy. If you have not got access to it yet, I would go and get it. We've got a lot of basic one-on-ones, understanding annuities, the ins and outs of them, how to present them, so on and so forth. So I would start there. But what do you do when you're out in the field and you have maybe 15, 20 mortgage protection or final expense appointments in a week, and you know there's some opportunities? So let me tell you this. For every 10 appointments that you have, mortgage protection, final expense, there is 1 to 2 really good annuity opportunities. The question is, are you finding them? Are you uncovering them? And are you asking the right questions? So let's kind of take a step back here and look at the numbers. If you had 20 appointments a week, really not that, it's 5 appointments, 4 days, not a lot of appointments when you really start thinking about it. If you had 20 appointments a week, and you were to find 4 annuity opportunities, and you only sold 1, and maybe that was a $100,000 annuity, and that added $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 in revenue to your bottom line in your pocket, and you did that twice a month, just being conservative, and you added $10,000 to $12,000 a month to your bottom line without spending any more money than you already are on leads or marketing, do you think that would be beneficial to learn how to ask the right questions and uncover annuities and learn how to cross-sell? Of course it would be. But why are you not doing it? What are you afraid of? If you're afraid of because I don't know it, I just said, listen, go get my course. It's $500. Learn everything you could learn about annuities, and we have it on sale too. Our bundle package for $750, you get 20 hours of content. Invest in yourself. Let's start there. But number 2 is, have you done that math? Have you thought about, if I were to uncover and just write 2 a month, and I were to add $10,000, $12,000 in my pocket, how much would that benefit my business? How much more could you then reinvest? Maybe that would be the startup money to reinvest in things like seminars, annuity leads, webinars, so on and so forth, right? But when we're sitting down with a client, there's a few things that you should be doing. And remember, when you're there for your MP and FX sales, you're there for one reason. That's to write that life insurance application. Everything else is a second appointment. And I don't want you to get off course with understanding, because if you start throwing out annuities and IULs and this and that, you're going to confuse the heck out of people, right? This is one of those things where you plant the seed and move on. Plant the seed and move on. And when I was working with this group, I asked everybody, I said, how many appointments did you all have? And this was a 15-person group. I said, how many appointments you guys have? It ended up being like almost 200 appointments collectively over the course of a month or so. I said, okay, 200. Imagine finding 20 annuity opportunities and writing 10 of them or writing 5 of them. Imagine doing $1 million in opportunities there or in annuity sales by asking the right questions. You see what I'm saying? You start looking at the numbers, go, man, this thing could get big quickly. And I said to them, the problem is you go in, you only talk about life insurance, and then you leave. What did you ask to even try to cross-sell? Let me give you a couple examples. After you build your rapport and you're working with the client, here's what I used to love to ask. I always assume the sale. It confuses me why people don't. They fill out a form, right? So you got a lead. They fill out the form. You called them. They invited you over to their house. You're sitting in their house. You have an opportunity to protect the family, and yet you don't assume that they're going to do business with you. That I don't understand. So maybe it's a mindset thing that we got to get into to really assume the sale and Think about logically. When was the last time you let someone in your house? And if you let them in, did you plan on just saying, I'm not doing business with the person no matter what they say? Of course not, right? So let's get in the right mindset before we do anything. So you sit down with them, right? You go through you go through your intro with them and kind of the icebreakers and whatever. Here's a question I used to love to ask. Outside of this insurance policy that we're going to put in place, we just assumed, outside of this insurance policy we're going to put in place to protect your family, what other assets do you have today that would pay off this mortgage in the event of you dying? Very powerful question. Very simple question. And I guarantee you this, if you ask this question on every one of your appointments moving forward, you will find more money than you know what to do with. It's not rocket science. The question is this. Outside of this insurance policy we're going to put in place for you today, what other assets do you have that would pay off the mortgage in the event of you dying today? Now, most people are going to look at you with a deer in the headlight look, and they're going to go, what do you mean by that question? Most people don't understand what an asset classifies at, right? They don't understand what does that mean? What are you talking about? Which opens the door for you to say, what I mean by that is, do you have any IRAs, brokerage accounts, 401ks, or other life insurance policies that would take care of this mortgage in the event of you dying today? Most of you will be afraid to ask that question because you don't want to know, or you don't want to remind them that they have enough money to pay off the mortgage, nor do you want to remind them that they have other insurances. I don't care about that because I'm so confident what we're going to do that if I have to remind them that they have enough, I'll remind them why it's not going to do what it needs to do. But let's put that aside for a second. Be bold and ask good questions. So they may say, yes, I have a 401k through work, and I have an old 401k from a previous employer. Great. Let me ask you a question. What's the balance between the two of those? Why do you need to know that? Because I need to make sure it's enough to pay off the mortgage in the event that you die. And don't forget, we're going to have to take that and we're going to have to nearly cut a third out of it. What do you mean we have to cut it? Why would I cut a third out of it? Because you have this thing called taxes. So what I need to do is make sure, right, that it's truly enough. And if it's not enough, we have to figure out how to cover the rest of it. What do you have balance-wise, roughly? All right, well, 401k's got $200,000. My old one's got, $300,000. Okay, perfect. Out of those two accounts, right, we have $500,000 roughly, you just said. Out of those two accounts, how much could you comfortably afford to lose and be able to sleep at night? How much could you comfortably afford to lose and still sleep well at night? None of it. Okay. Do me a favor. Remind me before I leave to show you what my other clients do to protect their money from times like right now when the market's burning to the ground, especially if you can't afford to lose any. Remind me before I leave, okay? Do we have a deal on that? That's fine. Okay, great. Now you move on. What did you do? You found out that there are other accounts, that there are opportunities. You can't do anything if they're currently working at under 59.5 with their current 401k, but you can work with their older 401k. Now, again, I know there are ways where you can use their current one. I'm not going to get into all that. But for easy conversation's sake, that old 401k, it's got $300,000 in it. Man, you could show your clients how to do a lot of things with that to protect it, especially during times like right now. Think about how easy of a cross-sell that is. Here's another question. If you're doing stuff with final expense, or even if you're doing your mortgage protection, and you start talking to people about income, how much do you make right now at your job? Okay, make X. So when you stop working, what are your income sources going to be? Well, why do you need to know that? Well, because when we do insurance, we need to make sure that when you retire, this is still going to be an affordable premium for you. So how much are you still going to make in retirement? And what are your sources of income? Well, I'm going to have Social Security and I've got my 401k. Okay, perfect. So you don't have a pension? No. Okay. What is your strategy for not running out of your 401k money, since it's going to be a big part of your income for life? What's your strategy for not running out of your 401k in retirement years? We don't have one. Has anybody showed you how to create a personal pension from your 401k? No, they have not. Okay. Are you interested in learning how to not run out of money and create a pension for yourself if I could show you how to do it simply? They're either going to say yes or no. But what did you do? You took the path of showing them how to create income forever. Right? It's non-intrusive. Nothing that I have said has been intrusive. It's asking the great questions to get the great answers. Some of you don't even ask questions to get any answers. Some of you suck at asking questions and you get crappy answers. You got to get great at asking great questions to get great answers to move your progress along. Now, if you do this and they're willing to talk to you about it and you say, before I leave, now remember, you ask them, before I leave, remind me to talk to you about what my other clients do to create a personal pension for themselves. Now, at the end of your presentation, after you've wrote the life insurance app that you were there to write in the first place, right? You assumed the sale, you wrote the app. Now, if they say, hey, Ryan, you asked me to remind you about helping us out with protecting our money or how to create an income forever or how to create a personal pension for us. What did you mean by that? So glad you asked. Listen, I don't have time to talk about it now, but do you have a current statement on your 401k that I could see? Because what I need to know is how everything is structured. And when I come back next Tuesday at 4 o'clock to deliver your life insurance policy that'll be issued by then, right? Deliveries, some of you don't even deliver your policies. You're insane if you don't. You are missing so much if you think that they're just going to mail the policy and you never talk to your client again. My God, you're missing it. Don't miss the bigger picture here because you're missing the opportunity to go back to the client and say, when I come back here Tuesday at 4, I'm going to bring your life insurance policy back. We'll go over it, make sure everything is good, but I will also bring back recommendations on the statement that you give to me here. I'll see you next Tuesday at 4. Now you have an opportunity to take that statement. So for those of you that don't know anything about annuities, great. Now you have an opportunity to grab a statement from somebody, bring it to your upline, or if they don't know anything about annuities, find someone who does, and ask them, can you help me structure a case here? I have a potential to help my client not lose any money while their economy is crashing, right? While they're in a recession, or they need income. They have Social Security at X. They need to make $4,000 a month. There's a $1,000 a month gap. How do we take this old 401k or this IRA and turn it into an income forever? Could you help me structure that? And then now you go back to your client with an opportunity to explain to them how you can help them. So now you go beyond being the insurance person, right? Now you get to help them on multiple different things. And again, you're helping a client in more than one way, and you're more profitable for every dollar you spend on your leads. And you're not even spending any more money. You're just asking the right questions to find more opportunities. So again, I could talk on this all day. If you have a group and you want me to come in and coach your people on how to cross-sell better, you're more than happy to reach out to us, 919-300-5870. You're more than happy to schedule a time and work with your group. But I hope it's been helpful for you. For those of you that are in the field listening to this while you're driving and you're going to your next appointment, do this immediately. If you have an appointment within the next 24 hours, you need to ask these questions I gave you immediately. And you'll start seeing some results very quickly. However we can help, let us know. I hope it's been helpful for you. If it has been, shoot us a comment below. Tell me what you've uncovered. I would love to know that. I don't care when you're watching this. Hit the comment button and said, because of those questions, I just found X. I would be so fired up to hear all the things you've been able to uncover and if they've been able to help in any way. If you have not yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button for me. Like this. We'll see you on the next episode.